Hope and pray that you guys are doing good. Decided to do a live here. I'm over at our assembly. So if you hear noise in the background, have some things going on with the youth. But just thought I'd do a quick live here. Been a while since I've done a live, one of these type of lives, and just going to talk to you guys briefly. And want to talk to you guys about what you see inside the title of this video in terms of, let me here. All right, can you guys hear me? If you guys type one, just section. But yeah, I'm over here at the assembly here, and just thought I'd do a quick live while I was sitting here, and the youth are doing some things in the other portion of the temple. But nevertheless, yeah, sister left the United States to go to Russia, thinking that she was going to have things better, seeking a better life, seeking to get away from the racism here. Um, the reason why what triggered her to leave, according to her story, she said that she had a situation and she saw the police that was there, and she went to the police. This is here in the United States. She went to the police, and then before you know it, the police officers handcuffed her, threw her down on the ground, and things like that. And it really, traumatized her. So she decided to leave the United States and go to Russia to get away from the racism, to get away from her traumatic experience here. Well, she went to Russia and learned a harsh reality, very harsh reality. I don't have the images to share, but she dealt with racism over there. She wasn't aware that over in Russia they're racist. You know what I mean? I know some of our brothers and sisters, especially in this awakening, have a warped view, thinking that Putin, Russia, and all those guys care about us. No, they're racist over there. Racism is over there big time. And so she was in her apartment over there and she got beat up. She got jumped by a couple while she had her child in her hand. I think she said maybe a year or something like that. Um, I think it was a toddler for sure. So here it is. She's fighting this couple. They beat her up. They went into her home, her apartment, kicking her out. So, family, I said all this to say is we can't escape it. We can't escape it. You know, oh, no, I'm good. I'm good. So, so the reality is that, you know, Russia, racism is all over. It's around the world. We have to deal with this all around the world. Now, of course, for many of our brothers and sisters that went back to Africa, many of them are not dealing with racism, of course, but they deal with a whole nother different type of oppression in many of those countries. Not all, but many of those areas. They get treated a certain way. And definitely they are reminded that they are not citizens, but immigrants. But nevertheless, not even getting into that. But a point that I'm saying here is that, for those that think that Russia loves us over there, come on, family. You could just go back and Google. I remember this back when President Obama was in office, and Moscow had an image of him eating a banana. They did like a light display on the American embassy or whatever, an American embassy, and had him eating a banana. Look it up. You know, they made all kinds of shots and took all kinds of jabs at him, you know, to basically remind him in their minds about the racism that they don't like us. Matter of fact, it's an old video on this channel. If you look, just do a search on this channel, just type in Russia, Russia or Russian, and you'll see a brother man getting harassed, had bananas thrown at him, being mocked for being a monkey. You know, they mocked him, want to call him monkey, not for being a monkey, excuse me, my word selection, but mocking him, trying to call him a monkey. Come on, family. See, too many of us get caught up with, I don't know what many of us get caught up in. We think that, you know, other countries love us. They're just, many of them just like the United States. Just like the United States. That beast don't care about us. That Babylonian system, which is a universal system, a worldwide system, don't care about us. Ukraine, which is the relatives of Russia, right? You can look this up, the Peace Corps. Go to their website. They have a disclaimer for Negroes who are seeking to do volunteer work there. They make it clear that they will be subjected to racism, being called monkeys and all kinds of other names. They said because the people are not used to seeing us there. Come on, family. Look at what happened to our brothers and sisters that was from Nigeria. I think it was Poland. Was it Poland? Or matter of fact, I think it was the Ukraine. They were trying to flee to go to Poland. Some Nigerians that was there tried to flee, and they got kicked off with trains. They got left hanging high and dry. It's college students. Come on, family. Come on, family. Look it up. I talked about that on this channel. And I understand and I get it, family. I get it that, hey, look at how we got treated in this country. So I get it. And you want to leave. I get it. We all get it. But you have to use wisdom. You have to use wisdom. Now, I was privileged to, or travel around the world, being a military soldier. I was in the Air Force, so I was privy to going around the world, traveling around the world, and I was able to see a lot of eye-opening things about this world, about how they view us. From Muslims, when I was in Saudi Arabia, when I was in Dhahran. Yeah, I was in Saudi Arabia. I was in Dhahran. I was in Kuwait, dealing with those campaigns. But I got to see some eye-opening things. So, I mean, think about it. Yeah, someone asked the question, who is leaving the United States to go to the Ukraine? Remember, there was a few brother men said, literally volunteered to be part of the some type of group of contractors to go over to fight and defend Ukraine against the Russians. I think I even had that video on here. Come on, family. It's sometimes we could be so caught up in the delusion and don't really think about how delusional we sound. We could be so caught up in some stuff, man, the emotionalism of things, and forget, like, wait a minute. The entire world enslaved us. The entire world had contributed to the conditions that we're in right now. I don't care what area you want to travel to, whether it's India, whether it's different parts of Asia, all of them had their part in the transatlantic World War. And the only reason why Russia wasn't a major player because of the distance, not because they didn't want to or they had some took some moral stance. It was because of the distance of getting slaves up to that area. That's all it was. But they don't care about us. None of these nations care about us, including where we are right. Look at how we're treated all around the world. Look at how we are treated all around the world. And we're so busy jumping on everyone's bandwagon, then just trusting in what the Most High has told us, trusting in what the Word says, and being patient. Look at the delusions. I'm going to talk about this AU stuff, this African Union stuff. And they have this year of reparations, 2025 year of reparations. For who? For who? We don't need a middleman to collect reparations for us. We'll never see a single dime of that if, let's just say, we get reparations and then it gets sent to them to send it to us. They'll have all kinds of fees. They broke it down to 6 groups, 6 regions, dividing consisting of 55 countries, divided into 6 regions, and all kinds of layers to it. Come on, family. Come on, family. I'm going to talk about that tomorrow night. We're going to talk about that tomorrow night. Someone asked the question, was she a self-hating black? I don't know her like that, but her issue had nothing to do with a negative perspective of us. Her issue was, according to her testimony, is that she had to deal with police brutality. She called the police, or she had a situation that she went to the police for help, and the police treated her like she was a perpetrator. And so because of that experience, and many of us have gone through those type of experiences. I've had guns put to my head by police officers. Come on now. Being in high school, a senior high school, police officer put guns to my head. Being in high school, me and my friends, baby brother in the back seat, going to a ceremony, winning a basketball game. And police officers pulled the clip and put guns to it, drew guns on us. Thank the Most High for what he did not allow to happen. So we all have had to deal with some type of traumatic experience with the police officer. Her experience drove her to go to Russia. And I believe part of the thing was her father, if I remember correctly, reading her situation, her father worked in Russia, and so, I believe when she was a babe or before she was born, her father worked in Russia, I think as an engineer or something to that effect. So I believe that has some influence on it too, but she just didn't know. So she went over there thinking that was going to be her way of escape. And family, she's not the only one. She's not the only one. And that's what's happening right now to many of our brothers and sisters. Many are leaving the United States, and I'm not knocking. If you choose to leave the United States and you have a plan, go for it. But be wise about where you choose, and make sure you have a plan in place. Whether you're going to one of the African nations, whether you're going to South America, whatever you choose to go, do your due diligence. Don't just uproot yourself and travel to places and you don't have a plan. And don't put the Most High on it, because that's the key. Many will say the Most High told me to do this, but the Most High ain't tell you to do any of that. You just decided to get up and leave and go. Family, you have to use wisdom. And she had a rude of awakening. You could just look it up. She got beat up pretty bad. She got beat up pretty bad. She did a live showing her bruises. I mean, she got beat up pretty bad. And family, that's a thing that's happening, a recurring thing with our community. Family, we just need the Most High. We don't need to try to depend on the systems of man. And going back to this AU stuff, this African Union stuff, reparations, any brother or sister here telling you that that's a good thing are misleading you. Are misleading you. And I'm going to deal with that tomorrow night. But we are going to, go into the details of that. See what's interesting even about that whole, just look it up, African Union, they have a website. You go there, you see the objectives. And even when you start going down the list of the objectives, I think it's like eight or nine of them listed there. They're not saying anything about us. They put together this board, they put together this panel, they put together these groups without no input from us. And they're supposed to be what? I guess the mediators are trying to position themselves as the mediators for reparations. I believe that they are seeking $1.5 trillion from either through the UN or from the United States, seeking reparations. Wasn't enslaved. We were enslaved. And based off of the statistics back in 2019, 2020, right? The United States, the amount of reparations that is owed to us was like $13 trillion. So why do we need a middleman that's especially from another country? We already dealt with middlemen. I'm sure you guys probably feel the same way as I feel. We have enough middlemen. Don't need any more middlemen. Don't want any more middlemen. If they decide that they want to, when I say they, this government decide that they're going to give us reparations, give mine directly to me. I don't need another country. I don't need a foreign land, even though, yes, we all come from, African territories by way of Israel. Right, by way of Israel, most of those that are on those slave ships came from African territories by way of Israel. We don't need an African Union. We don't need any organizations here to be the middleman. Come on now. But that's what's happening, family. That's happening. Many are allowing being anxious and being frustrated about what's happening and what we had to do in this country. And what we've been subjected to in this country, and we're ready to we're ready. And I understand that. But family, be patient. Be patient. Be patient. I had to sit back and even think about how we're so gullible. Remember when Putin, with the Russian icons, that fake video that was sent out saying Putin or whatever is releasing the Russian icons, opening up the vaults? Family, the Russian icons been available. Do I have a book? I still have one of my, let me see here. I got a book on the Russian icons. Well before Putin supposedly opened up the vaults, which were already open for decades upon decades upon decades. And this book is dated well before Putin decided to, according to this fake video that was going around. So many was jumping on the bandwagon of that fake AI generated video, saying, hey, Putin loves us. He loves us. No, he don't. Michael Jackson had a song that was very profound, right? They don't really care about us. That's the song that really got him in trouble with the 1948ers, because he even mentioned them in there, saying they don't really care about us. So if he understood that, why don't we understand? And Michael Jackson was the most powerful person in the entertainment industry at the time of his death. At the time of his death, one of the most powerful men inside the music industry wrote a song saying they don't really care about us. Look up the lyrics of that. Look up the lyrics of that. So, family, again, we got to be smart about what we do. And I'm saying this out of love and respect for our community. I'm not trying to disregard our brothers and sisters over in Africa. I'm not disregarding any of that. But when it's all said and done, we have to start here. Our brothers and sisters in Africa didn't go through what we had to go through as a people. They don't have to feel like how we feel in terms of Ezekiel chapter 37. I believe like down around about verse 10 or verse 11, when it says that we are lost and cut off from our parts. Come on, family. We're cut off from our homeland. Not just us, our brothers and sisters in the Caribbeans, our brothers and sisters in the diaspora around the world. That's whether you are, like I said, in Cuba, Cubana, Puerto Rico, wherever you may be, we are cut off from our parts. We can't say that we're going to go back to our homeland. What's going to happen to you? Remember they had the year returned? How many of our brothers and sisters went to Ghana and had property taken away from them? Yeah, look it up. Had property taken away from them. I'll say this to the AU. If you're supposedly be this organization that's all for the betterment of the diaspora, then these 55 countries that many of our brothers and sisters that have already left here to go there, allow them to purchase land versus leasing. Open up opportunities for them to be able to actually purchase land. Because most of the African countries, you can't purchase land. We can't purchase land. We can lease it, and you could have up to a 100-year lease, but you can't own land. See, that's what happened with our brothers and sisters with the year return. They went to Ghana, and what happened? They thinking that they're going there, the property is theirs, only to return to that property, come to that property, and see all their belongings taken out of that building, and the building confiscated. They confiscated everything. Family, look it up. Come on, family. And let me rebuke this right here. I am not praying for Israel. I'm not praying for that Israel. I'm praying for this Israel. Let me say it again. I'm not praying for that Israel. I'm praying for this Israel. I'm not praying for freedom of another community. I'm praying for freedom of my community. Let me make that clear. I'm not taking one side or the other. So moderators, if you see anyone trolling, posting, pray for Israel, free Palestine, remove them from the chat. I'm not praying for the freedom of another nation when my nation is still enslaved. I'm not praying for the 1948ers. I'm praying for this Israel right here, the true Israel. I'm not praying for any of those communities. I'm praying for this community right here, this community right here. Come on, family. Come on, family. If you're in agreement with that, type in listen with intelligence. Type in listen with intelligence if you with me on that. I'm not praying for that. No, y'all can take that somewhere else. I'll take that somewhere else. Now, someone posted here, keep it kosher. No, guess what? I'm not using that word. Quadash is the actual word. Keep it quadash. Kosher is a Yiddish word. That is not a Hebrew word. I'm going to keep it quadash. That's the actual primitive root word. Some of you guys would say kodesh, but quadash is the primitive root word. I'm going to keep it quadash. I'm going to keep it holy. So I'm making it clear, family. We have to start here. One thing I love about our community, but at the same time, it could be the very thing that could undermine us, is we care. We're a caring community. And sometimes we're so caring that we love everyone else. We'd be so concerned about the fight other people fight, but we minimize the fight that we have to stand up for. We take care of other communities, but we fail to take care of our community. We're so busy trying to pray for someone else, but you're not even praying for your own household. Come on, family. I'm being real with you. I had people ask me to pray for Puff Daddy. I ain't praying for no Puff Daddy. What for? That's not even biblical. No, I'm praying for this community. I'm not praying for any communities outside here. I'm starting with this community. Come on, family. Yeah, family. People was asking, hey, pray for Puffy. No, I ain't praying for Puffy. Pray for R. Kelly. I ain't praying for neither one of them. Those criminals. There's some wicked things. If they were innocent, that's a whole different ball game. Come on, family. Come on, family. But again, family, I like I said, this is not trying to offend anyone. But if you're offended, so be it. I'm not purposely trying to do that, but I care about my people, just like the Messiah said in Matthew chapter 15. He said, I did not come but for the house of the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's his word. You can't change. He said, I did not come but for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. When he sent his disciples out in Matthew chapter 10, where did he send them to? He told them, don't go anywhere but to who? The Israelites. When he equipped them, he told them, hey, this is what I want you to perform when you get there. Cast out these demons, cast out these strongholds. If they receive you, that's the same passage, right? He's dealing with Israelites. Hey, what did James do? Did James write his letter for everyone, or did he write his letter for the Israelites? He didn't write it to a church. He wrote it to the Israelites. He started off with what? My scattered brothers and sisters, my scattered people. I'm paraphrasing. Come on, family. Come on, family. Oh, come on, family. We could talk about Apostle Paul. Yeah, Apostle Paul got dispatched to Israel assemblies that was already intact. Now, were there proselytes there? Absolutely. Acts chapter 2 makes it clear, but the predominant people at those assemblies were Israelites. Read the letter of John, 1 John chapter 1. It'll say to the strangers that are scattered. To the strangers that are scattered. The strangers that are scattered. Who is the strangers? The Israelites. Come on, family. I saw someone want to make a post about wokeness. Family, that's why it's a joke here, right? And, idiotic comments like that tells me that when you see somebody make a post like wokeness is lame, that tells me you have no clue about what it means to be woke according to the Negro community. Before the Republican Party, and now, of course, the Democratic Party, And the media has jumped on top of it and made being woke a negative thing. I challenge you, Jesse, to go to your computer and type in woke, the definition of woke. And it'll tell you that woke was among our community, it was coined among our community as being aware of what? The political, the politics, right? The agenda, being awakened or being woke to the agendas of these, the governmental system. That's what it means. Has nothing to do with how it's made today over the past 5 years, making woke to be LGBTQRSTUVWXYZ community, being woke, and you know that's become the butt end of the joke. That's not what it meant among the Negro community. Look it up. Instead of regurgitating what you heard here over the media, over the airways. So guess what? I am woke. I thank the Most High for allowing me to be awakened, to be woke. And I am not going back. That's right. That's right. That's right. So, family, not trying to get away from the overall discussion. The overall topic is, again, the thought is the woman, the sister who left the United States to try, her whole goal was to do better. She was seeking better, which is understandable. And she had a root of awakening. She dealt with police brutality here in the United States. And she left here because of that traumatic experience and went to Russia hoping to escape the brutalities, hoping to escape racism. And she was in for a rude awakening. She was in for a rude awakening, right? And she got beat up pretty bad by a racist couple over in Russia. And I believe she already left there, but look it up, family. You could read up on her story. Let me see. And moderators, if you see it, this is on the New York Post. Let me pull it up here. New York Post. I had it here. Yeah, it's New York Post. The article is titled "Black Woman Who Left U.S. for Russia to Escape Discrimination is Beaten by Racist Neighbors." Right? And it says, a black woman who moved from the U.S., the United States, to Russia to escape discrimination and racism revealed on social media that the entire plan backfired on her in a disturbing way. In a heartbreaking video, Francine Villa claims both she and her baby were brutally attacked by racist neighbors in Moscow. The fact that the attack occurred in her homeland is an extra painful blow. Villa had previously spoken about her move back in 2020 documentary Black in the USSR, which aired on the Russia State Media Channel, RT. After a year of living in Moscow, she told RT, "I feel free living in Russia because in Russia, no matter what time it is, I can walk outside and I'm safe." 5 years later, that proved to be a fantasy. So yeah, family, she had to deal with that. She had to deal with that. She had a rude awakening. She had a rude awakening. Right? And family, again, and let's not, try to blame her. Let's not put the blame on her because, Christianity has taught us to protect the perpetrator, victimize the perpetrator and criminalize the victim. So let's not make her into a perpetrator. She meant well. She went there hoping for things to be better and discovered that it was the same. She can't escape the very things that we have been dealing with and our people is dealing with around the world. So let's show some compassion for her, because I know sometimes we could take things and we could run with it and really make it into something like we're blaming our own people. So I'm gonna say this. As a matter of fact, no, I'm not even going to address that because people start posting all kinds of crazy stuff. All right. Let me see here. Yeah. All right. That's right. We always think the grass is greener on the other side, and we realize it's not. That's right. That's right. I agree with you, Billy Dickens. I agree with you. I often use the analogy of the dirty dime versus the shiny nickel, right? And this is what happened to our community, and still happens, and many get deceived by this, right? You know, the story of two little brothers, right? Two brothers, right? The older brother and the younger brother. The younger brother couldn't count, couldn't count money, right? Make a long story short. So the older brother saw that the baby brother had a dirty dime and he wanted that dirty dime. So the older brother said to the little brother, said, "Hey, look, I'll trade you my shiny nickel for your dirty dime." Initially, the baby brother was like, "No." The older brother was like, "Wait a minute, my shiny nickel is bigger than your dirty dime. My shiny nickel weighs more than your dirty dime. My shiny nickel is cleaner than your dirty dime." So as he began to express that to his little brother, his little brother was like, "You know what? You're right." So he gave his brother his dirty dime in exchange for his shiny nickel. Well, later on in the day, moms come home from work, and take them out to the store, to the corner store. And so she told them, "Hey, you guys have your own money, buy whatever you want to buy." So the older brother saw a freeze pop. So he grabbed the freeze pop, and that freeze pop was a that freeze pop cost a dime, cost 10 cents. So the older brother went and paid for it with that dirty dime. Well, the baby brother had his shiny nickel, thinking that it was worth more than that dirty dime. He was in for a surprise when he found out that he needed more. He needed another nickel in order to pay for it. And he was discouraged. He was crying, told his mother what happened. And his mother told him, "I told you that you're going to have to learn how to count." And that's the same thing what we deal with. That's the same thing what we deal with, right? We always looking for something that we already have. We always look for something that we already have, right? And let me say this to Ed Roberts, right? As I see you're posting some crazy comments. No one said anything about racism, right? I don't subscribe to the institution of race. Please don't come on this channel and post anything about race. See, when the Messiah said that he come only for the lost sheep of the house of Israel, had nothing to do with a race. It had everything to do with bloodline. The institution of race is a 17th century, an 18th century creation. The whole purpose of the institution of racism, the should I say the institution of race? The whole purpose of the institution of race was to create a class system. To create a class system, to make sure they continue to have a distinction between the conquered and the conqueror. This is where you understand red districting and all those different things. So if you say that Christ did not come for a race or racism, whatever, however you put it, the Messiah, back in the biblical times, race didn't exist. It was all about bloodline. It was all about nations. It was all about community. So please don't post any of that stuff here. Yeah, let me block this person. See, that's what happens when you have people like this person here, you know, who want to go there with their, hey, Christ, he wasn't all about race. And then when you give them the proper clarity, that's when they want to get into the craziness like this person just posted. I could care less about the institution of race. I care about bloodline. Salvation has nothing to do with our skin complexion. It has everything to do with the blood that's in our veins. Being an Israelite has nothing to do with your skin complexion. It has everything to do with the blood that flows through the veins. The Israelites came in all shades. I notice I didn't say the Israelites, oh, they were black. No, they come in all shades of being dark. They all were dark. They came in different shades of darkness, being dark melanated people. So don't come over here with that racist stuff. Let me say that again. Please don't come over here with that racist stuff, because I don't roll with that racist stuff. All right? I'm not going to allow you to box me in or any of my brothers and sisters in with rhetoric like that. So when the Messiah came, he started with his people. It was bloodline Israelites, not this thing that the church has taught, this spiritual Israel. See, that's part of the problem, starting even with our community. What's the problem, Pastor? Well, the problem is we've allowed the Europeans, the very people that have enslaved us, to define what love is. The very people, the very religious systems, all three Abrahamic faiths have enslaved the Negro and conquered other territories too, all in the name of the church. But those same people that took something that didn't belong to them, created an image of themselves, and then tell you that this is your Messiah. Tell you what it means to love. Tell you what it means to have grace. See, I learned that I don't need Christianity. I was in Christianity. I don't need to have Christianity to have the Messiah. You know, kind of that witchcraft, that manipulation that the church teach. Have you guys dealt with this before? You tell your pastor that you can leave the church and go to another ministry because for whatever reason. And then they demonize you. They put rumors out there saying that you have left Christ. They start demonizing you and giving this belief to those that are still there that you done left Christ. You done left the Messiah. Nah. You can leave a church without leaving the Messiah. You can leave Christianity without leaving the Messiah. You can leave Catholicism without leaving the Messiah. You can leave Islam without leaving the Messiah. You can leave Judaism without leaving the Messiah. You can practice the law, statutes, and commandments. You can practice the word and embrace the word of the Most High, which many of you guys will refer to it as the Bible. You can embrace all of that free from these religious systems that was put in place to what? Push an agenda. The same group that signed all kinds of edicts, the Pope, to enslave our people. Come on, family. That's what religion has done to us. That's what religion has done to us. Right? So someone posted here, I'm pushing an agenda. No, I'm not pushing an agenda. I'm pushing the will of the Father according to the scriptures, according to the true tense of the scriptures. I'm endorsing the will of the Father. Let that sink in. Yeah, family, the trolls out tonight. The trolls are out tonight. I'm seeing a lot of trolls out here tonight. Victim mentality. What is victim mentality? No one's expressing victim mentality on this platform. But reparations is not a victim mentality. Reparations, you could read the scriptures on reparations. You can see that in Exodus chapter 12. Israel was told to demand reparations from the Egyptians. The purpose of reparations is to whatever community that was suppressed by the other, that the instigators provided what? Restitution, right? So that way that community, that group of people will no longer have a dependency on them. They'll be able to be independent. See, Israel, according to the scriptures, for like 215 years, right, they were under the suppression of the Egyptians. Free labor. So the Egyptians, they were told to go, through Moses, told to go what? Demand reparations. And we know the rest is history. The rest is history. Anyway, family, I don't want to be on here too long. I'm on here longer than what I wanted to be. You know, so somebody asked the question, what they do after that? Well, what did they do after that? Read the scriptures. They left Egypt with wealth. And then their first challenge, they wanted to go back to Egypt. Anyway, let's see what else here. That's right. Why is that? That's my line as well. So, family, I'm saying all this to say, I know I got into some conversations based upon what I see inside the text here. I mean, inside the comment section. You know, the chat can be brutal if you take it personal. But I would say this, family. You know, again, going back to the title, you know, unfortunately, this sister had to learn a harsh lesson that we already know. Like Michael Jackson saying, they don't really care about us. They don't really care about us. All right. But let me get out of here, family. Really appreciate you. You know, we'll do a live tomorrow night dealing with the AU. You know, we're going to really deal with that. All right. Appreciate the moderators for those that have been holding it down, trying to hold it down, because I know that the chat is moving forward. All right. So really appreciate you. Really appreciate you guys. All right. All right. So with that being said, family, can't go back, can't stay here, keep moving forward. And again, the noise you hear in the background, we're at our temple here, we're at the assembly, and the youth are doing things and you know, in the other space. So that's why you hear some of the noise in the background. I think they're getting ready to wrap up. So I want to go out here and talk to them real quick, just to thank the leaders for working with the youth. But with that being said, family, love you guys.